The man in the Mercedes has 12 seconds to live. He doesn't know it yet. You're on a rooftop in a city you'll never name. 4 stories up. Perfect angle. The rifle is chambered. A suppressed SR-25. Not American made. Nothing you carry is American made. That's rule number 1. The wind is calm. 3 miles per hour from the east. You've already done the math. At this range, it doesn't matter. His security detail is good. Former military. Trained by the Russians. 6 men in 2 vehicles. They swept the restaurant before he arrived. They checked the kitchen, the bathrooms, the back alley. But they're looking for car bombs and kidnappers. They're looking for men with guns rushing the front door. They're not looking up. He steps out of the restaurant, kisses a woman who isn't his wife, laughs at something his bodyguard says, adjusts his tie. He's in no hurry. Why would he be? He's untouchable. He's been untouchable for 15 years. Your earpiece crackles. 1 word. Execute. You exhale. Squeeze. The rifle kicks. The round travels 412 meters in less than half a second. The man drops. The woman screams. His bodyguards reach for their weapons, but there's nothing to shoot at. They spin in circles. They scan the street. They look at windows. They look at cars. By the time they think to look at rooftops, you're already down the stairs. The rifle stays behind. It's been sanitized. No prints. No DNA. Serial numbers filed off years ago. You walk out the back of the building. A different outfit. A different walk. Just another man heading home from work. You're in a taxi heading to the airport when you hear the sirens. Tomorrow, a news anchor will call it a suspected gang hit. A government will deny involvement. Conspiracy theories will bloom on the internet. And the dictator who was planning to massacre his own people will be remembered as a man who died outside a restaurant. You won't be remembered at all. That's the job. You're already elite when they find you. Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, MARSOC, Rangers. 15 years of deployments. Medals you can't talk about. Operations that don't exist. You've done 6 combat tours. You've lost count of the firefights. You've watched friends die. You've killed more men than you want to remember. But you're getting older. Your knees ache. Your back is held together by cortisone shots and stubbornness. The military wants you behind a desk. Training command, staff position, something with regular hours and a pension. Then a man approaches. No uniform, no rank, just a business card. White, no name, no logo, just a phone number. 10 digits. Call this number if you're interested in continuing to serve. You tell yourself you're not going to call. You've done your time. You've earned the desk. You call anyway. A voice answers. No greeting. Just tomorrow, 9 a.m. and an address. The meeting happens in a boring office park. The kind of place that has insurance companies and accounting firms. You walk past a coffee shop, a dry cleaner, a dentist's office. The suite number leads to an unmarked door. You knock. It opens. Inside, a conference room with no windows. Fluorescent lights. A table. 2 chairs on each side. 2 men in suits wait for you. They don't shake hands. They don't give names. They gesture for you to sit. They know everything. Your deployments. Every single one, including the ones that were classified /SCI, including the one in the country the U.S. officially has no presence in, including the operation where your team captured a high-value target who was never publicly identified. They know about your kills, not the official number, the real number. They know about your divorce, your daughter who lives with your ex-wife in San Diego, your mother's medical bills, your credit score. They've been watching you for 3 years. The pitch is simple. We need people who can do things the military can't, in places the military can't go. For reasons that will never be explained, the military operates under Title 10, Rules of Engagement, International Law, Congressional Oversight. We operate under Title 50, different rules. You will work for the CIA's Special Activities Division, Ground Branch. You will be a paramilitary officer. They let that sink in. The reality is this: you will kill people for the United States government. Quietly, deniably, professionally. You will work in countries where there's no embassy, no military base, no backup. If something goes wrong, there's no quick reaction force coming to save you. If you're captured, we will deny you exist. We will deny we've ever heard of you. Your family will be told you died in a training accident. There will be no rescue mission, no body. If you die in the field, your family will get a check and a lie. There will be no flag-draped coffin, no military funeral, no burial at Arlington, just a star on a wall, no name under it, normal job, coaching or soccer team, barbecues on weekends. You say yes, you don't know what you just signed up for. Camp Peary, Virginia. 9,000 acres of restricted land along the York River. The locals call it the farm. The CIA calls it the Armed Forces Experimental Training Activity. Nobody calls it what it is, the place where they train spies and assassins. You think you know how to kill. Delta taught you everything. Room clearing, close quarters combat, long-range shooting. You've trained with the best in the world. You know nothing. The training starts with tradecraft, the art of being invisible. Dead drops. How to leave a message in a public place without being seen. A chalk mark on a mailbox, a thumbtack in a telephone pole, a newspaper left on a park bench with information hidden in the crossword. Signal sites. How to communicate with assets without ever meeting them. How to know if a meeting is safe or compromised. Surveillance detection routes. How to walk through a city and know within 30 minutes if you're being followed. How to use shop windows as mirrors. How to take turns that force anyone behind you to reveal themselves. How to disappear into a crowd. Counter surveillance. How to follow someone without being seen. How to work in teams. How to hand off a target from one watcher to another seamlessly. You practice for weeks. You follow instructors through cities. You get caught. You do it again. You get caught less. Eventually, you can follow someone for 8 hours and they never see you. Eventually, you can spot a tail within 3 blocks. Cover identity comes next. You're not learning a fake name. You're building a fake person. Complete background. Where you were born. Where you went to school. Every job you've ever had. Your parents' names. Your siblings. Your childhood dog. You don't just memorize this. You live it. You dream as this person. You wake up as this person. When someone asks where you're from, you don't hesitate. You don't think about your real hometown. The cover is you. Political opinions. What you think about the current president. Your views on immigration. Religion. Abortion. You need opinions. Real people have opinions. A man with no opinions is suspicious. Job history. You can explain every line on your resume. You know the names of your fake coworkers. Your fake boss. You can describe the office layout of a company that doesn't exist. Foreign weapons training. AKMs. Dragunovs. Weapons from every country. Chinese. Russian. Iranian. North Korean if you're using American weapons. You've already failed. Nothing traces back. If you kill someone with a Sig Sauer, that's an American signature. If you kill someone with a Makarov, that could be anyone. You learn to field strip weapons you've never seen before. You learn to shoot accurately with guns that aren't zeroed to you. You learn that most of the world's weapons are poorly maintained, and you need to compensate. Interrogation resistance. CRE training on steroids. They break you down. 72 hours without sleep. Stress positions. Water. Noise. Disorientation. Psychological pressure that makes combat look simple. You learn that everyone breaks. Everyone. The question is not if, the question is when. The goal is to break slowly. Give them nothing for as long as possible. Protect the mission. Protect your teammates. Buy time. The worst part isn't the physical. The worst part is the mental. They find your weaknesses, your fears, your guilt. They use everything. When it's over, you understand something. You can be broken. Anyone can. But you know how long you can last. And you know the tricks they'll use. The box. Advanced driving. This isn't NASCAR. This is combat driving. High-speed pursuits through city streets. Ramming techniques. How to disable another vehicle with yours. How to PIT a car at 80 miles per hour and walk away. Evasive maneuvers. How to break contact when you're being followed. How to use traffic as a weapon. How to disappear. J-turns. Reverse 180S. Controlled crashes. You learn to drive through things, not around them. Fences. Barriers. Other cars if necessary. The unspoken lesson comes last. You're not a soldier anymore. Soldiers operate in uniforms. Soldiers are protected by international law. Soldiers have rules of engagement. Soldiers can surrender. You're a deniable weapon. A ghost with a gun. If the mission requires killing a target's wife because she's in the room, that's the mission. If the mission requires killing a child who saw your face, that's the mission. You don't have to like it. You just have to do it. Some guys wash out here, not because they're weak, because they realize what they're signing up for and they walk away. You stay. Ground Branch, the CIA's direct action arm. The unit that officially doesn't exist, maybe 200 operators total. Most are former Special Operations, Delta, SEALs, Marine Raiders, Rangers, Green Berets. The best of the best, recruited after they've already proven themselves. You're not military anymore. You're civilians, government employees with GS pay grades. Your job title is something boring. Analyst, advisor, consultant. Your actual job description would be classified above top secret. Your team is 6 guys, 3 former Delta, 2 former SEALs, 1 former Marine Raider who speaks 4 languages fluently and 3 more passably. You've all killed before. You've all seen things that would break normal people. Nobody talks about it. You don't have to. Everyone understands. The unit has access to everything. Any weapon you want, any equipment you need. Custom gear built to specifications that don't exist in any catalog. Private jets that can land anywhere. Safe houses in every country. Multiple identities ready to go. Cash in every currency. Budgets that don't get audited. You don't file expense reports. You don't justify purchases. If you need $1 million for an operation, you get $1 million. The missions fall into categories. Direct action. Kill or capture high-value targets. The people who are too dangerous to live but too protected to die through normal means. Terrorist leaders. Enemy intelligence officers. Training and advising. Turn local militias into armies. Arm rebels. Build insurgencies from scratch. You've done this in a dozen countries. Most of them you'll never be able to talk about. Regime change, destabilize governments, sometimes from the inside, turning generals and ministers, sometimes from the outside, funding opposition and arming revolutionaries, sometimes both at the same time, support operations, work alongside JSOC, Delta and SEAL Team 6, get the headlines. They kick down doors and capture terrorists, but someone has to find those doors first. Someone has to develop the intelligence. Someone has to prep the battlefield. That's you. You go in first, you gather intel, you build networks, you identify targets. Then you hand it off and disappear. They get the medal ceremonies and the movie deals. You get nothing, not even a mention in the classified after-action report. The culture of Ground Branch is different from the military. No uniforms. Ever. You dress like contractors, cargo pants, hiking boots, beards. You look like you work for a security company or an oil firm. That's intentional. If anyone asks, you're private security or logistics consultants. You have business cards to prove it. No rank. The former E7 works alongside the former O4. The guy who was your commanding officer in the military now defers to the guy who was enlisted. In the field, only competence matters. Only results matter. Nobody cares about your career path or your connections. No records. Your operations are filed under code words that get destroyed after 5 years. There's no paper trail. There's no institutional memory. The things you do exist only in the minds of the people who did them. When those people die, the operations die with them. No accountability. Not in the normal sense. You don't report to generals. You don't answer to Congress. Your chain of command runs through the CIA's Directorate of Operations, to people who never testify and never appear in public. No limitations. The military has rules of engagement. Legal review, JAG officers who tell you what you can and can't do. You have mission objectives. That's it. How you accomplish them is up to you. No recognition. The SEALs write books. Delta guys become consultants on movies. You can't even tell your family what you do. The work is its own reward. Or it isn't, and you leave. The joke in Ground Branch. We're the guys the government sends when they're done pretending to follow the rules. It's funny because it's true. It's also not really a joke. Your first kill for the agency is different than your first kill in combat. In combat, it's chaos, bullets flying, explosions, screaming. You shoot because someone is shooting at you. It's instinct. It's survival. This is deliberate, planned, cold. The target is a facilitator, a money man. He moves funds for terrorist organizations across 3 continents, shell companies, cryptocurrency, Hawala networks. Nothing touches a bank that anyone can trace. He's protected by a government that looks the other way, because he pays the right people. He's untouchable by law. He'll never see the inside of a courtroom. Not untouchable by you. You enter the country as a German businessman. Fake passport, fake company that actually has a website and answers phones. Real hotel reservation at a mid-range business hotel. For 2 weeks, you establish your cover. You take meetings with real businesses. You eat dinners with real people. You attend a trade conference. You hand out business cards. You're building a pattern that's boring, a pattern that no one would ever investigate. Then, when nobody's watching, you go to work. You map his life, the apartment where he lives with his wife, the office where he works, the car his driver uses, the route they take, the restaurants he likes, his girlfriend's apartment across town, the one his wife doesn't know about, the one he visits every Tuesday night. You find the gap. Tuesday nights, he arrives at 10 p.m., leaves around 2 a.m., his driver waits in the car downstairs. No other security. The building has a doorman but no cameras in the hallways. You report back. Encrypted communication. Multiple relays. The message takes 6 hours to reach Langley through the chain. The response takes 2 hours. 1 word. Approved. A team of 4. You're on the door. 2 guys going inside. 1 driver. Tuesday night. You watch him arrive, you wait 2 hours. Let him relax. Let his guard down. 2 a.m. The lock takes 11 seconds. You've practiced on this exact model. The hallway is dark. Apartment 4B. The door isn't reinforced. Why would it be? He's safe here. 8 seconds on this lock. The door swings open. He's in bed with the girlfriend. He never wakes up. Suppressed weapons. 2 rounds each. Center mass. Then 1 to the head. Standard procedure. The girlfriend sees nothing. She's unconscious. A mild sedative in the wine bottle your team placed in her apartment yesterday. She'll wake up next to a body and remember nothing. You're in and out in 90 seconds. By dawn, you're on a flight to a third country. By the time police arrive at the apartment, you're eating breakfast in a cafe 2,000 miles away. The news calls it a burglary gone wrong. The girlfriend is questioned and released. The wife gives a tearful interview. No one connects it to anything larger. His network collapses within weeks. Without him moving the money, the operations dry up. 3 planned attacks never happen. Hundreds of people will live because a man died in his bed. You don't feel good. You don't feel bad. You feel professional. This is the job. The president wants a dictator gone. He's been in power for 30 years. He's massacred civilians, tortured dissidents, developed weapons he shouldn't have. He's a problem, but an invasion would cost billions, thousands of American lives, years of occupation, another quagmire. So they send you. You won't kill him directly. That would be too obvious, too traceable. It would make him a martyr. Instead, you'll destroy everything around him. His power base, his support structure, his ability to govern. His generals will turn. His security will collapse. His people will rise. And when they drag him into the street, it'll look like their idea. Phase 1 takes 3 months. Your team infiltrates as humanitarian workers and journalists. Cover identities built over years. Real NGOs that don't know they're providing cover. Real press credentials from real outlets. You identify the cracks in the regime. Generals who are skimming money and living in fear of being caught. Colonels whose families were killed by the regime's purges. Politicians who want power and see no path to it. You make contact, carefully. One by one, a general is approached through a third party. A businessman who owes you favors. The message is simple. There might be an opportunity for someone who wants change. The general is suspicious. Of course he is. Everyone is suspicious in a country where your neighbor might be an informant. But he's also desperate. He knows the regime is rotting. He knows what happens to generals when regimes fall. He's seen the photographs from other countries, bodies hanging from bridges. He wants a guarantee, protection for his family, a way out if things go wrong. You give him both. His wife and children are quietly moved to a neighboring country. Account is opened in their name. Enough money to start over. Now he's yours. You repeat this 12 times. Different approaches, different leverage. Some want money, some want power. Some want revenge, some want to survive. Money flows. American money that can never be traced. Cash delivered by couriers who don't know where it comes from. Cryptocurrency bought and sold through a maze of exchanges. Weapons flow. Not American weapons. Russian, Chinese, captured stock from 12 different conflicts. Nothing that leads back. Promises are made. A new government, elections, economic support, the backing of the United States. Whether those promises will be kept is above your pay grade. Phase 2 begins. Protests start. They look organic. Young people in the streets. Social media campaigns that go viral. Signs and slogans that seem to emerge from nowhere. They don't emerge from nowhere. They emerge from accounts you control. From organizers you've trained. From a playbook that's been used in 12 countries. The dictator cracks down. Exactly as planned. His troops fire on protesters. Images spread around the world. International condemnation. Sanctions. His violence turns more people against him. Moderates who might have stayed home are now in the streets. The protests grow. More generals waver. They see which way the wind is blowing. They remember the accounts you opened for them. The families you relocated. Phase 3 moves fast. 3 generals defect in one night. Your team extracted their families hours before. They announce on television that they no longer support the regime. They call on their fellow officers to join them. Half the army refuses orders. Soldiers won't fire on their own people. Units that were loyal yesterday are sitting in their barracks today. The dictator's inner circle shrinks. Yesterday he's got 12 men in a palace surrounded by a city that wants him dead. Phase 4 happens without you. You're already gone. Extracted 2 days before the end. New passports, new identities. A flight to a country on the other side of the world. You can't be there when it happens. There can be no American fingerprints, no evidence, No connection. If anyone ever looks back, they have to see a genuine revolution. A people rising up against tyranny, not a carefully orchestrated operation run by 6 Americans with diplomatic cover. Your team scatters, different directions, different countries. You won't see them again for months. Some of them you'll never see again. But you watch on satellite feed as the crowd storms the palace. You're in a secure facility somewhere in Europe, coffee in hand, watching history happen on a screen. The dictator runs. He makes it 3 blocks before his own guards shoot him. They're thinking about the future. They're thinking about which side is going to win. By morning, he's dead. The news shows his body in the street. A popular revolution. A new dawn for freedom. The new president gives a speech. You recognize him. He was drinking coffee with your team leader 6 months ago. Nobody will ever know. CIA headquarters. Langley. The marble lobby with the granite seal in the floor. And the wall. 139 stars carved into white marble. Each one is a CIA officer who died in service to the country. Some are recent. Some are from decades ago. The Cold War, Vietnam, conflicts that are still classified. Under some stars there are names. Officers who died in ways that could be acknowledged. Officers whose families could grieve publicly. Under other stars there's nothing. Just blank space. Just a star and a mystery. The blank ones are yours. Graham Branch. Sad. Officers whose missions were so secret that even in death they can't be acknowledged. You know some of them. The team leader who took a round in Kandahar. 2003, he was the best operator you ever worked with. The official story said training accident. His family got a flag and a lie. The comms guy who disappeared in Syria. One day he was there, the next day he wasn't. No body recovered, no explanation given. His mother still thinks he might be alive somewhere, he's not. Your first partner, car bomb in Beirut. He was buying groceries. Not on a mission. Just buying groceries. But someone figured out who he was. They were sending a message. His star has no name. His kids think he died in a car accident. The Book of Honor sits in front of the wall. It has the names of the officers who can be named. The ones who can't are just marked with stars. Nothing else. No dates. No locations. No explanations. When you die, and you probably will, your family will be told you had a heart attack or a car accident. There will be no flag-draped coffin, no military funeral. Number 2-1, gun salute, no burial at Arlington, with full honors. Just a star on a wall, and eventually everyone who knew what it means will be dead too. You made peace with this years ago. You tell yourself you did. But sometimes late at night, you wonder, who will remember you? What will be left? A star on a wall. Some memories that will die with your teammates. Classified files that will stay sealed for 75 years. By the time anyone can legally know what you did, everyone who cared will be gone. Your daughter will never know. She'll tell her kids that grandpa worked in consulting, international business, something boring. And in a way, maybe that's okay. Maybe the best missions are the ones nobody ever knows about. Maybe the best operators are the ones nobody ever names. Or maybe you're just telling yourself that because the alternative is too heavy to carry. An American journalist is being held hostage, somewhere in a country where the US has no diplomatic presence, no military bases, no allies who will help. The military says extraction is impossible. No way to get forces in, no way to get them out. The risk is too high. The State Department is negotiating, back channels, intermediaries. They're making progress. They think, but the intelligence says the captors are going to kill her in 72 hours. They've made a demand the US can't meet. When the deadline passes, they'll make an example of her. Someone makes a call. Your team gets the nod. 72 hours to find her. Plan an assault. Execute. Get her out. No backup. No quick reaction force. No air support. If this goes wrong, you're all dead or captured. And the US government will deny you exist. The hunt takes 48 hours. Your team infiltrates separately. Different covers. Different entry points. You're a businessman. Your partner is a journalist. Another guy is a construction contractor. You don't know where she's being held. The intelligence says somewhere in the city, that's 4 million people. Thousands of buildings. Dozens of armed groups who might be responsible. You start working sources. A police commander who takes bribes. He doesn't know who you are. He just knows you pay well. He gives you a list of buildings where armed groups operate. A cousin of a cousin who worked at one of the compounds. He needs money for his daughter's surgery. You give him 10 times what he asks for. He gives you a description of the building, the layout, the guards. 36 hours in, you have a location. A building in the east of the city. 3 stories, maybe 20 hostiles. The journalist is on the 3rd floor. You have 36 hours to plan an assault that would normally take weeks. 6 operators, 2 vehicles, local plates, local clothes, weapons hidden under blankets. 4 a.m. The city is as quiet as it gets. You park 2 blocks away, walk the final distance, no lights, no talking. Hand signals only. The front door has 2 guards, one is asleep, the other smoking a cigarette and watching something on his phone. The first guard dies without a sound. Suppressed MP7. 2 rounds. He slumps against the wall. The second guard looks up. He has maybe a second to process what's happening. He doesn't get to use it. You're inside. The building is dark. You can hear voices somewhere above. A television playing. Someone laughing. The stairs creak. Nothing you can do about that. Second floor, a hallway, 3 doors. One opens. A man with an AK-47. He gets 1 round off before he drops. The round goes into the ceiling. The building wakes up. Now it's fast. You've trained for this 1,000 times. Room to room, doorway to doorway. Anyone with a weapon dies. Anyone without a weapon gets zip-tied. No exceptions. 3rd floor, the room at the end of the hall. The door is reinforced. Steel frame, breaching charge, flashbang, entry. She's there, alive, chained to a radiator, blindfolded. She's been beaten, starved. But she's alive. The key is on a dead guard downstairs. Your partner goes to get it. The exfil takes 11 minutes, the longest 11 minutes of your life. Someone is going to call someone. Someone is going to report armed men moving through the neighborhood. The vehicles are where you left them. The route out of the city is clear. Your forward team has been paying bribes for 24 hours. Every checkpoint is waved through. She's on a plane within 6 hours, out of the country within 8, home within 12. The news says she was released after negotiations. The government that held her claims they showed mercy. The State Department thanks everyone for their diplomatic efforts. Nobody mentions the 8 men your team killed. Nobody mentions the building that's now a crime scene. Nobody mentions the police commander who's $50,000 richer and will never talk. Nobody mentions the cousin who got surgery for his daughter. The official story will be the only story. A month later, you see her on television. She's being interviewed. She talks about her faith, her hope. The moment she knew she would be saved, she mentions negotiations. She thanks the diplomatic efforts of the State Department. She has no idea. She'll never have any idea. 6 months later, she writes a book. It becomes a bestseller. She goes on talk shows. She gives speeches. She becomes an advocate for journalist safety. Your name appears nowhere. Your face appears nowhere. Your team is never mentioned. One day, years later, you see her at an airport. She walks right past you, no recognition. Why would there be? She's alive because of you. She'll never know. Sometimes that's enough. It has to be enough. It's the only reward you'll ever get. Years pass. You've lost count of countries, lost count of operations, lost count of bodies. Your hands don't shake. They should, probably. But they don't. The things you've lost, marriage, gone. She couldn't handle the absences. 3 months at a time. No explanation for where you were. No phone calls. No emails. When you came back, you were different. Quieter. Harder. You flinched at sounds. You checked exits in every room. You couldn't sleep without the TV on. She tried. For years she tried. But you can't explain what you do. You can't share the weight. And eventually the distance becomes too great. Kids. You have a daughter. You see her twice a year. She's 14 now. She thinks you work in consulting. She doesn't ask questions. She learned not to. Friends. Your real friends are the guys on your team. The only people who understand. 2 of them are dead now. One is in a wheelchair. One disappeared into a bottle and doesn't answer calls anymore. The things you've become, you can walk into any city in the world and feel at home, because you don't really belong anywhere. Every place is temporary. Every identity is disposable. You can read a room in seconds, identify threats, plan exits, track movements. You do it automatically now. Can't turn it off. You can kill a man at dinner and finish your meal. That's not a brag. It's just a fact. You've learned to compartmentalize in ways that would concern a psychiatrist. You can look at the news and know the real story. The car bomb that's attributed to a rival faction. The coup that's presented as a popular uprising. The assassination that's reported as a heart attack. You know what really happened. You know because sometimes you made it happen. Every year, they offer you out a desk job, training analysis, leadership positions. Every year you say no, not because you love this, but because you don't know how to be anything else. The skills that make you valuable here make you dangerous everywhere else. You can't go back to normal life. Normal life is a foreign country. There's no retirement party for killers. One day you just stop. Maybe you teach at the farm, train the next generation, pass on what you know. Watch young guys with idealism learn the realities. Maybe you disappear, really disappear. A cabin somewhere, a small town where nobody asks questions, a fake name that finally becomes real. Maybe you drink yourself to death. Plenty of guys do. The weight gets too heavy. The memories get too loud. The bottle makes them quiet. Or maybe you catch a bullet you don't see coming. A star on the wall. No name underneath. A family that never knows what you really did. People sleep safe in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. You're one of those men. You do the things that can't be done. Say the words that can't be said. Pull the triggers that can't be pulled. The world will never know your name. They'll never know what you sacrificed. That's the point. You're not a soldier. Soldiers wear uniforms. Soldiers follow rules. Soldiers come home to parades. You're not a spy. Spies steal secrets. Spies recruit assets. Spies work in embassies. You're something else. Something that doesn't have a name. Something that exists in the shadows between war and peace. Between law and necessity. Between what a country says and what a country does. You're the CIA's secret. The thing they can't acknowledge. The capability they can't admit. The weapon they deploy when every other option has failed. Presidents come and go. Policies change. Wars end and begin. But there will always be a need for people who can go anywhere, do anything, and never exist. There will always be a need for you, and somewhere right now a phone is ringing. A man in a suit is giving coordinates. A team is loading weapons onto a plane. Another mission. Another country. Another target who doesn't know he's already dead. The work never ends. And neither do you. Not until that star goes on the wall.